I feel like a prisoner on the earth, and I need to break through that and see that we still have freedom, we still have choices.
Hello, everyone, and welcome here to Iza Iszna. Thanks so much for accepting my invitation to our corner walking in between the worlds. And I would love to ask you, of course, as the first questions, what are the worlds that you're walking in between? If you would love to share a little bit about your story.
So thank you so much for that opportunity. It's our first podcast that I'm taking part in it, so it's an initiation. And I feel like, walking between worlds is also an initiation. It's part of many initiation as a reincarnation, as you reincarnated many times. So my story is like I never felt fully human, and I never feel human, fully embodied on earth. And as a very young people, I didn't spoke about it to anyone. But I have a lot of suicide thoughts because it was coming like to disassociation from the body. I understood. Now I understand more. So it was very painful, to be here and still like struggle. And through my own inner healing and to holding space with others, I start understanding more energy of earth and still like trying to root myself. And it's constant work because, but it is a journey. So I think this is the beginning, but there is also like tools, I'm using as sometimes it's a movement in Buto. For example, we say that Buto is Japanese form of art, of dance, performing art, but now it's all over the world. It's transformed. So we sometimes, when I've been doing in Himalayas, my school, we've been told that we enter, we allow somebody to enter through our body and then so we awake that subconscious and we go into deep resonance that is also a lot can open a lot of things within. And I found it like, the drum is like a beautiful tool that helps me to actually walk because it's like resonating something and I don't need to understand fully. It's not about understanding because we do live in the world that everything need to be verbalized. I'm more connected through the senses, through this invisible world that I've been developing for a very long time. Not very long time, but some things are coming from past lives. And also, like, when I draw and paint, again, it's something that, I do feel like I'm entering into consciousness and it's very meditative process. And I found it like all that things, it's an invitation for me, an initiation. And to take that, and of course, when I go to the nature, I completely can lost myself in it.
Yeah, definitely.
And then you do really feel between, and then I really feel I am somewhere in between, and I completely sometimes doesn't know because it's very divine sometimes experiences with the nature, right?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
And if we need to give a bit of context to who's watching or listening, what are the things that you have done in the last years or this life among the manics? Because we met each other on the shamanic path, the shamanic contest, but you're also an artist. Although you don't like the labelings, but just to let people understand what are the many things that you have done in all these years in order to connect and combine these two worlds together.
So, I call, that's, I think, that's why I created the nomadic art and art medicine that combine art and shaman spirituality. I struggle and I don't want to use this word very often because it's been overtaken,
Which word?
Spirituality. Yes.
We are now at the spirituality center.
Yes, exactly. But you know what I think I hope you know where I'm coming from, So it's like, so that's why already, these two names is like already in between words because, one way I have that huge needs to create because it's coming from expression. And I found it like creativity, it gives us that free vessel that we can express ourselves. It's, I don't know, for me, it should be that way, that we have that space that we can express ourselves fully. And then spirituality, like shamanism, that also it takes us to the places, right? And, and how to verbalize, how to even describe the journey that we're going through, or even if our feet touch the the grass, we already have awake a lot of cells and connection with the earth. So what I'm thinking is like, I have like study pedagogy, psychology, a little bit, art therapy. So, this was already like a waking call that well-being is important for me. I don't know, because of my experiences, as I was not embodied. And then as a performing artist or acting, but I always was, well, like, even if I act on the stage, I've been always told that something is not wrong with me, pronunciation, my movement, I always was odd one, odd. What is she, and what she's doing here? Because I didn't finish academic theater school, so this is important, big things. So, and then it was just like, I feel like my soul is quite hungry, quite curious, and like to go beyond, between words. And I feel like also this is like, that curiosity sometimes, it takes time to recover afterwards. And then, there is the needs of traveling, but this needs of traveling is also not coming from, it's something deeper that I still try to, understand why I feel called to take, because they're unpleasant, backpacking, low budgeting, and, all of that, going to the places you even don't know, and then you're coming, and then you need to face the mess. So, am I escaping from something? I try to be clear that not, but I'm still re-questioning myself, because it's very important to really fully, I think it's really time to face our.
Just also maybe to renew the reason for which you're doing that, and which doesn't mean necessarily to be a definition, a fixed definition of saying, okay, this is me and this is why I'm doing that, in and out, stepping in and out and traveling from one country to the other one. But just sometimes just feeling that I'm answering this question, for which then ask, and I feel that I have to move and I have to go there. Then it has to be clear to you only. Not to all the people asking you, oh, okay, so you are living again, so you're traveling again, because people want you to place you on a level. Okay, so you are in Edinburgh, and you are in that on that shelf now, and they can place you over there, and then once again, you decide to go on another journey. So how do you manage to find your stability within all these in and out, right and left, moving, shifting circles, listening to calls and then going back to yourself? How do you find your own center in all this vortex?
Yeah, it's not easy. I will show you one story. For example, once time when I came from my last journey to India, I faced a lot of troubles that I don't talk about it. And there was huge grief. And I'm still going through that grief within that I don't speak very often, because I feel like something in my life situation changed completely. And nothing was moving at the time as well. I was looking for a job, stuff. Everything was like almost no money and stuff. So I was like sitting in this very still place within myself, and I draw and I paint and constantly draw and paint. I went through that meditative and praying, and I feel like there is determination that, even whatever you are collapsing and you are very down, and then all this year I was grieving. My main focus, it was like going through that grief that is still here within me. Now I'm kind of aware of it, and I can speak calmly about it, but it's not that I don't want to say it's easy. Like, traveling between words, like, if you ask me which word I will prefer, of course I will say, take me, I'm ready. I have nothing to hold with, because for me this is beautiful tools, this is object, but my soul choose freedom. And I had this conversation with myself when I was putting boots on. I was like, come on, my soul really want to be free. And that's, so I feel like sometimes I feel like a prisoner on the earth, and I need to break through that and see that we still have freedom, we still have choices. And it's that courage, to find that courage actually to face yourself, whatever life it's gonna bring.
Exactly, not necessarily choosing among the options that others have decided for us or giving us in order to find our own identity, but choosing our own option without the barriers, without the borders, or creating our own ones if they don't exist. which is very much what you're doing, creating your own path, creating the path that is just the right one for you, and not necessarily stick to what others want you to see on what others have created for you in the past. And for all the people that are afraid of following such a huge flow of freedom, how would you encourage them? Because it can be destabilizing, it can be frightening for people to follow and listen to these calls. Maybe for people that haven't had the opportunity, the courage to do that before, and they're still stuck in their Western life. We say Western life because it's definitely, we think, being here, that we are more stick to what to some pre-decided path. How would you encourage them to just say, okay, it doesn't matter, do it, start, do the first step? It doesn't have to be a big, frightening thing that you keep avoiding your own life because it's uncertain, it's not sure, because you are not following a pre-decided step in which you know where you're going or what you're doing. How would you encourage people to say, this is your call, just follow and listen to your heart?
First of all, I would like to take you to the very safe space within you, to your body, and work on your body embodiment, that feelings and emotions. So through the breath, I will start very gently and listen that and start imagining how does it feel, how does it taste, whatever is your dream, and how your body resonate, how your heart respond. So I will do it very gently because I prepare for my trip right now. I was preparing for a few months because I know it will be hard and I will need to face a lot of.
Let's explain. Yes, it's going again to India very shortly.
And India is not easy, I still try to explain people what does it mean solo traveler and carrying heavy backpack. It's give me a lot of anxiety. I found a lot of challenging situation, and it can be overwhelming. So stepping in, just that's what I want to tell you. Just stepping in, it's like, before I was like, follow your heart. Life will gonna feel in your way. In my case, it wasn't that way. I went always, and I faced a lot of challenges. So you can go and go like wide. It's your decision. I just like want to feel it like whatever. Ask yourself, what is your way? Are you ready to take this big leap of faith and just like, okay, I'm doing it, and I'm sure things will gonna follow and will gonna happen. But depending how your nerve system respond, what is your story? If you experienced trauma before, all of that informations are very important, and we need to be like holding the space, the integration process. It's so important. So please, and just like self-care for me now, it's become very essential, and self-love and self-respect. So really ask yourself, are you ready? Am I ready? And sometimes you are not ready, but you will know that when you are ready. So, gather information, prepare yourself, go for some talks, meet people that been doing similar things, gather the knowledge. If you are not sure about it, and if you are ready, completely ready, just do it. And and sometimes it doesn't matter how things takes time.
Yeah.
Because people accomplish the dreams in 10 years, but they've been just not ready yet, and things just open itself. So
they have been preparing themselves for that time. And I think
because the thoughts was already planted.
Exactly. So it's the beginning of the idea that is starting in that moment. I think it's important to find your own ways, because, for example, when I used to go around and backpack, my own way was in a digital free way, which was not definitely easy, because nowadays we are used to search for everything online. But when I used to do that, which I enjoyed, it was the luxury of those times that I could do that. It was without the phone. So the moment I was landing and finding, I was just sending a message to whoever was important to me in that time. Family, say, okay, I'm here, I've landed. I'll be in touch back again in 1 month. And then I was allowing myself just to step into the conversations and being guided on what I could find online on site, and just having a hotel booked for the first 2 days, and then being guided in uniting all the parts of the puzzles, and just allowing myself entirely to be device free, which was very important for me. We're not speaking about ages ago. We were speaking the last journey that probably did was 2018, the 2019. It was in Kenya, so it wasn't again one of the times that I went there. That was probably not the country in which you can do that, because it's a bit more difficult if you are without the phones. But before that, I was always traveling, without the phone, which was making the whole experience entirely different. Instead of just, also the fact is that I don't have also many records of that, because I was trying also not to take so many pictures and just to be entirely connected with the people that I was finding online. While nowadays, of course, the way of traveling has entirely changed, and it's your personal choice, but make it unique for yourself, for your own way of how would you like to decide to go on that journey and reconnect back with yourself. Can be entirely up to you. It's your own choice.
Yes, and I feel like the biggest obstacles is fear.
Yeah,
and lack of trust and all of that, of course, and it's block a lot of channels and a lot of opportunities. So it's like I call it it can be our friends, but also it can be a huge enemy, and it's good to be aware of it. Especially like, so, also like trust, like build a trust between yourself, within yourself, and don't look for permission from other people to do it, but also take responsibility for your choices, whatever it happened. This is like tricky one, right? But I take it as an initiation. So, I feel like it can be an initiation for you in that way, that you feel that calling, you recognize that calling. You can even write a map, you can write, you can put up pictures. What does it is like help you to translate actually what is that about? Because sometimes I sitting and I still don't know what information are coming. Sometimes nothing for a very long time. So it's your way. What tools you use, what says, what you follow, who you follow. It's a lot of freedom, but the choice needs to be yours.
Yeah, 100%. And is there any specific journey in your heart that you would love to share with us, that could probably say, this is an example of what happened to me, something that really, a journey in which you were really surprised by the connection that you made, what happened, even if there may be some things that didn't go in the way you wanted or you would have expected or whatever, but it still came out as an amazing experience at the end, from the soul perspective, always, for what you need to believe.
It's tricky, but I still coming back. Like, I think that when I was first time went to India, it was like 18, 19 years ago. And I remember I went to, for example, like that. It's so beautiful. Somebody picked me by motorbike and was totally disaster. And supposed to drive me to the Dharamshala, but I already feel on the way that something is wrong. So on the way, I've been cheated, of course, but I stop and I take the bus and I continue the bus. And when I ended up in Dharamshala, when I was doing my Bhutto school, I was looking, I didn't know where to go, how to go. And then I was like walking to cafe and I saw two monks and I was like, oh, look at them. But then I left cafe, but then I come back and I think, I don't know if I start talking to them or they start talking to me. They saw that I am a bit confused.
Yeah. And Dharamsala is just basically two main roads.
No, it's not.
I've been there. Yeah, I've been there. Where in the between, of course, the temple. I mean, it's not. Then of course it goes up and down. I've been in the monastery, in the woodland, up there, over there, but.
But and what is interesting, because I didn't know where is the school stuff, and I haven't got place to stay, and it was getting dark, so they took me to them place. They cook for me. They even give me a bed for free. They look after me. Then they was from Bhutan monk, and I was like, and even though we become friends afterwards, there was like even movie festival. I invite him. There was like Polish movie. They have no clue what it's about, but it was translated. But they came and we met a few times. And they was very curious, very open, and they took me to the school next day, and And I will never forget, because all of that time was extremely amazing. Like in Varanasi, first time was on the festival, like it's called Drupa Mela Festival, when for 10 days was a musician coming from all India, from sunset to sunrise. It was, a holy rajas and music. And then next to the Ganga, that, 18 years things was different.
Yes.
Yeah, now it's overpopulated. It's even the Ramshar I couldn't recognize, and it a little bit break my heart. But and it was like I saw like a two old couple holding the balloon, on the empty street, and all of that mountains and everything. It was very poetic. That really touched your soul, and the land speak through you. And I found it like, when you can. For me, it's very important that I can connect to the land, because land is for me the vessel. Like without land, I feel empty. The nature, for me, in the cities I often struggle, but it's for me, it's like the calling, and when you hear these mountains that are higher than you, when you hear the trees and all of that, that you touch, you smell, and you feel like it's so tiny grain. It's like, that a constant reminder. But there was like so many magical moments that of the connection, and recognize that, and just like so much gratitude to these beautiful souls, because they didn't look for anything. Then they didn't ask for money. They didn't ask. They was just happy that they can serve and support. They was just in service, right?
Yes, exactly.
And I found that this is very unique, very unique. And even though the Pamela Festival, we didn't pay the tickets. Everyone was welcome and was free of charge, and people can go on and go. All of that things are still taking place in India and all around the places. So I found it like, I love when the money are not involved. And even though I was like situation that my card was blocked and people helped me, and I could stay at school for some time and I pay later on, people have that trust within me. Now those days, if you say like, oh, I cannot pay, it's like, how you not gonna pay? It's like stop.
I know this is another division in between the walls.
You can feel it, like authenticity of that, and this really hit me, And I was young, and I was like, "Oh my God!" And I still remembering all of that experiences, and I feel like this is like when we travel, when we allow our spirit to also be free in that moment, right?
Yeah.
And trust.
Yeah, exactly. And trust, and that things, and people, the right people will always come to us, and then of course ask for a help to the universe. I always say universe, whatever you want to call it, and the forces out there, that you will be supported. But of course, we need to remember to ask all the time, and then they send you exactly what we need in that moment. And then it's still, we know, but it still surprises us all the time.
Oh yeah.
Which is amazing, because it's fine. There is that moment of doubt and fear, then the help come, and still we are surprised. And it's always the same pattern, the same circle and repetition. It always happens.
It's just that spirit test us, yeah?
Yeah. I just say nothing happens. There is just a moment of fear in which you renew your vow, you take your vow again, the trust in yourself and the spirits, and then the support and help come all the time. So I really always find it something as if it was new. It always surprised me. The synchronicities that then are
it's crazy, Jada, because like, well, one story, like, I think it was 2-3 years ago when I got the money from Creative Scotland, and I was doing
Yes, the open
performance.
fund was
And we did one here, yeah. But you know what was crazy? During the all the preparation, I struggled to breathe. I still have breathlessness and breathing disorder. I don't know still yet what is it, but I couldn't like rehearsal. I struggle. But when it come to performance, because I moved and I speak and sing at the same time, I touch the microphone very bad.
That's okay.
But what happened? I didn't have any problem with breathing. Suddenly, when performance finished, again I couldn't speak. I cough and da. Next day,
Because you step into that.
and they say no problem. Like it's just and this is for me like or things of miracles, but I cannot explain logically.
Because they don't have to be explained.
Yeah, exactly. This is like sometimes the walking between words, that the logic disappear, right? And what is logic? Like something our mind can
the minds that wants to
understand. That's like, is that really real? Sometimes did you have that moments that you look at things that happened? Is that really real? Is that really what is this like? We cannot. They're speechless.
Yeah, exactly. But this is also when you're going also on a journey, on a shamanic journey all the time. And I've got people ask, but is it real what I saw? Is it, or I made it up, all up? Yeah, it's the other world, the other dimension that is real. it's real in real. What is real? What is real? Everything is not necessarily the middle world is real, and this definition of the physical reality and world are real. What is real? Something that is untouchable, ungraspable, unseen, and invisible at the same time.
Yeah, because we live in the world that we need explanation for everything, and everything is need to be logical. It feels like imprinted. But all the mystical experiences, and people go through healing and life-changing journey, I think we cannot explain fully, right?
Because people want the proof, the tangible proof. I can see it, so I can believe it exists. I can feel it, I can identify that.
And that's why I feel like, the power of shamanic journeys and ceremonies itself, because they take us beyond time. Time is just the boundaries with time, and what is like the beyond and below and all of that. It feels like dissolving. We entering into the different dimension.
Dimension.
Yeah,
Dimension or dimension.
Yeah, we still both it's beautiful souls. Yeah, but it's something that we cannot really describe, and that's why I love the ceremonies. And they take some ceremonies take
so long. I would love to do proper one that takes full day. But well, actually, no, throughout the year course, I do some that actually take a whole afternoon, and it depends on the amount of people, but the real one we know take days or whatever. I mean, lots of hours. And it's just because you don't have any limits, you just allow the whole flow to happen. And nowadays we always struggle with the time, with things that we are taking these experiences in between what we did before and what we have to do next. So it's always somehow limiting.
Yeah.
And I speak for myself as well. I'm probably guilty of that as well. Always needs to be this time-consuming element, which is like squeezing the experience. Yeah, yes, beautiful. And where can people find you apart from everywhere and anywhere if they want to connect with you, especially your YouTube channel, Medicine
Woman, that is still happening, and we spoke this also has its own life, and it takes a lot of it takes work, and we, especially when we love technology.
She hates technology.
No, hate is too big word, but I need to push. Like sometimes you need to push yourself, yeah. So but I met a beautiful source people, and I'm grateful to all of you. And Jada is one of them, because I found that there's the healing in storytelling, and actually because I keep saying that because of the storytelling, maybe I'm still alive because they give me a courage and something to look forward. If somebody could make it, well, I also can go through another day, because suicide thoughts is not the big one, it's not the small one, it's really take courage to do it without don't say to anybody, because I didn't say to anyone. I didn't take any medication, I didn't went to doctor. I just was like, every night I was waking going to sleep with hope that I will not gonna wake up as a child. So imagine that, it's a big one, and I still don't know how I make it through. And this is also maybe the journey that we take beyond words. And I speak about it because I know that many people suffer with that. And I think it's important to raise that voice and say, yes, you are not alone. And, there is now a lot of support that is available as well. So for you, so please reach out, because your life has value, and you're a very beautiful soul that just going through very transformative time that needs support. So you can find me on Instagram, Nomadic Heart, Art Medicine, on Facebook as well. And also I'm working on my website that hopefully soon will be ready to share with you. It's just everything takes some time. But yes, and I think this is the main channels. And I started Patreon, I think, but recently, but I post on Instagram.
What have you started?
Like sharing on Patreon, another platform for artists, but I think my pronunciation is very bad because I cannot memorize stuff. Beautiful souls, that's just my word that doesn't really. But anyway, things will be accessible for you, but most important, like Instagram and Facebook, more active on Instagram, being honest with you. And yes, like, for my dream is like really to create a place where I can connect the body work, because I started learning about the massage because I understood how important it is to get back to the body with the sound, with the, with shamanic work and art, creativity. So I keep dreaming about piece of land with beautiful souls where we can connect and create. This is my dream that I try to, universe.
Then once you
keep
have
praying.
once you have the land, you will not be able to travel anymore.
Oh yeah, I will be traveling. I will be
For a while at the
traveling.
beginning,
Yeah, I
when you are
know.
building everything on that land, you
But I
have
will
to
be
there.
traveling maybe on the land, because maybe I
It
wouldn't need
will be
to.
a huge land.
Yeah, maybe I will not need to travel, because this is the thing. Sometimes, we travel because we're still looking for our purpose or manifest. Sometimes we feel food and we don't feel anymore the needs of traveling, right?
Oh yes, I had the need of traveling for so many years, and now I think it has quieted down. And that probably because I've created the Art Spirituality Center, so then my efforts, everything, my heart is fully drawn to Edinburgh, so I don't feel that need, because probably I've already, traveled for over 20 years for different reasons, personal, working reasons, or whatever. So I know the travel, the passion for travel will always been there because it's come from my family, so it's deeply inside my own heart. But I think it just sometimes it needs a pause, and then it will restart with a new shift, with new reasons, so with a new, probably with new eyes, and that part still need to come, which is not for me at the moment, but I'm aware that it will come back again once probably this mission has come to, not to an end, it's come to a fulfillment. Then it will be the last phase of my life.
No, I think there is more waiting for us. We don't know. Actually, this is the thing. We actually don't know. And this is kind of exciting. It can be scary, right?
Yeah. No, it's fine. It's
For me, sometimes I like to know. You see, so for me, it's like, aha, I am the one that is, even though when I'm now preparing for myself and I get like a little, I have sometimes panic attacks, small panic attack, anxiety and all of that.
But
of
you
course
have more
I do.
tools now.
I do, but it's still happening, This is just this is the things, it's just part of our personality, because we hear so many things, and I think I'm more aware what I need to hear about it. They still existing, but how they approach them is very important. And I speak about it very openly, because somebody will say, oh yeah, but how you can hold space for others? Yes, we can, even if we're going through things, it doesn't mean that we are not working on each other. And I want to be very clear about it. That's why I speak about them openly. People with different conditions, yes, you are empowered enough if you know that you're doing the right way, and you are not harming other people, right? Exactly. So I feel like we're living in very judgmental world. That's why I'm showing up myself as a very vulnerable person that's still feeling, that's still going through patterns and different emotions, but I'm learning to more be kind towards myself. Compassion. As we are with the different other people that we're working, also we need to receive that as well. And if nobody's giving me, somebody giving me, I gonna give myself.
Yes, exactly. Because we deserve it.
Of course we did.
Yes.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, really, for having been with us. And I know we will connect again with a new topic.
Of course we do.
After you will have been on some other journeys, maybe you will have started something else. So we'll come back and talk again about.
And maybe I really miss holding space for others. So this was like, because I was like not sure, and things was like a lot of things happening of my grief, personal grief. But I really hope that will be a chapter that I can come back. I will be more in service and holding space for others. That will be amazing. And maybe we can finish and blessing to this beautiful place and to you, Jeddah. Grazie.
Grazie mille. Thank you so much. Beautiful, absolutely wonderful, wonderful singing from your soul, from your heart, with the spirit through you. Really beautiful.
Oh,
Really beautiful. Yes, to you. Thank you so much. Thank you.